Just as the craftsman must know their tools inside and out, what they're made for, when and where to use them, the story writer must also understand the tools they have at their disposal. This is a series dedicated to quickly explaining a single writing tool in every video. For this video, we're going to talk about the thematic argument. There are two spines to every story. The most obvious is the plot, the tangible kinesis of things happening. If you were to Google a synopsis of your favorite movie, book, or show, you'd likely find an apt summation of the plot, but rarely will you find its twin spine so easily, the hidden sibling to the plot, the thematic argument. If the plot is what your story is about, then the thematic argument is what your story is really about. In short, the thematic argument is a particular truth that is revealed in your story. It is a lesson that you impart onto your audience. But isn't that just the moral of the story, you might ask? Not quite. The thematic argument is always specific, and it is always an argument. Crime doesn't pay. You can't outrun your debts. Humanity is inherently good. Each of these is specific, and each of these have positions that can be argued. That's how you know you have established a thematic argument, and not just your story's morality. Why do we have a thematic argument in our stories? If you've ever wondered why yearly Hollywood movies, despite their explosive set pieces, impossibly beautiful stars, CGI, sex and violence, feel boring, it's because they have nothing to say. They are the equivalent of trying to replace a partner with pornography. There's nothing wrong with sex, violence, or action per se. They just have to serve some purpose. The thematic argument is that purpose. That being said, just having something to say will not make a story better. Nobody wants to be evangelized. That's just as bad as having nothing to say. It's the search in your story for the truth that makes for good writing. So how do you find your story's thematic argument? Some people feel very strongly about a certain topic. Little Miss Sunshine's script was written as a response to comments by Arnold Schwarzenegger about hating losers. As a group of self-identified losers, they set out to make a movie which essentially said being a loser is okay. You will never be happy trying to live up to other people's expectations. Just be yourself. But not everybody starts with their argument. In the middle of writing, you might not yet know what truth you're trying to impart. That's okay. Finding out what your story is about is often part of the writing process. The most direct way to do this is to analyze your protagonist, specifically their character arc. Your hero should start with a critical flaw that gets in the way of their desire. Towards the end of the story, they learn to overcome their flaw and better themselves. What lesson does your hero learn? What revelation do they have? The revelation is your thematic argument, distilled into the context of your hero. The twin spines of plot and thematic argument meet at the hero's revelation, and once you have the end argument, you can work backwards to shape how to argue to that point. Note though, that the thematic argument is not static. You can't simply take your final revelation and call it a day. If you do, you will come across as sanctimonious, political, and preachy. Your hero is the vessel in which we experience your thematic argument. Through the story, they will have their initial beliefs attacked, be presented with opposing ideals, learn false arguments, stumble, and take the wrong paths, all in the quest for the final truth about the world. This exploring of your argument is essential. As the writer, you must be prepared to attack the core beliefs you hold about the world. If you can't give credence to ideas you find heinous, completely opposed to your worldview, then your story will suffer. Your audience must stay on the edge of their seat throughout, wondering what the truth of your story is. Only with the revelation of the protagonist does the thematic argument come to an end. In essence, you must put your core beliefs about the world on trial. Your work will not feel honest otherwise. Once you've found your thematic argument and established a need to explore and attack your argument, the next step is how to show it in your work. There are several tools at your disposal. We've already established that the hero's character arc is the main method to give voice to your argument. But how then do you debate that voice? The principal answer is through your antagonist. Your antagonist is your devil's advocate. They have a view, an opinion on your thematic argument. It is wrong, but they argue it so convincingly that you can empathize, can truly understand why they feel the way they do. The antagonist is the vehicle in which you attack your argument. From your antagonist's unique perspective, they are acting perfectly in tune with their view of the world. Side characters are similar. They add more nuance to your argument than the black or white dichotomy that can arise from a hero and villain going at it. The opinions they offer will give you more room to argue for and against your thematic argument. Finally, the story world itself gives you a strong tool to shape your argument. This includes things like dramatic irony, cruel twists of fate, reversal of fortunes. Essentially, it's when the world of your story seems to conspire for or against your characters and the way they act. And that's it. Hopefully, this helps you understand the importance of the thematic argument and how to utilize it in your writing. I'll leave you with a final writing exercise. Take a story you're working on and find its thematic argument. Then, write a monologue from the point of view of each of your main characters, defending their unique position on the thematic argument. You might find their responses enlightening. Thanks for watching. Next time, the absolute negative.